And welcome to Rob Schmitt tonight. Just to give you some scale, $1 billion used to be a lot of money, but now we're throwing around trillions. And 1 billion seconds ago, it was 1988. But think about this, 1 trillion seconds ago was 32,000 years. Let all that percolate in your mind as I tell you the story of how we got to almost $1 trillion deal today. Months ago in the summer and the fall, Democrats wanted to spend $2.2 trillion on a second COVID package. The negotiations led, of course, by Nancy Pelosi. The Dems did not want to move an inch. And even at CNN, they knew exactly what Pelosi was up to. Take a look.
Let me read a line from the letter you wrote. The president only wants his name on a check to go out before Election Day and for the market to go up. Is that what this is all about? Not allow the president to take credit if there's a deal that will help millions of Americans right now?
He's not that important. But let me say this. With all due respect, and you know we've known each other a long time, you really don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I kind of did. Pelosi had no intention of agreeing to anything, even a dime, under that $2.2 trillion. For them, this was all politics. They didn't really care what people needed. They cared about winning, and they desperately needed to win against President Trump. Meanwhile, for the last 6 months, Republicans have been pushing for the exact bill that is being passed tonight. Here's Mitch McConnell today.
As far back as July and all autumn, Republicans have consistently supported a targeted package right in the ballpark of this total amount with exactly the same kinds of policies in the mix. So why did it take all this time? We know why. We've heard Democrats say openly they were not willing to deal all summer and fall, but are willing now because they have a president-elect of their own political party.
So Democrats had this bill. They had it offered months ago. And over the weeks, Republicans during the summer would come up a lot. The White House would offer $1.6 trillion, then come up even further to $1.8 trillion. Republicans gave way more than they wanted, hoping to get some kind of deal done for the people, nearly doubling their offer. Democrats wouldn't move an inch. They said no way. Pelosi would rather let Americans suffer than pass a bill that she couldn't take 100% of the credit for. But now that it's no longer politically useful to her, well, fine. Here, take your money, peasants. The Queen has now moved on to her next political game. So what exactly is in this $900 billion, 5,500-page bill? Well, it's got more unemployment benefits, $300 a week extra through March, also $600 stimulus checks for those making under $75K. But why couldn't Democrats have accepted this same bill all those months ago? Well, here's Nancy Pelosi today trying to save face.
We didn't do it. We couldn't pass legislation until now because the administration simply did not believe in testing, tracing, treatment, wearing masks, sanitation, separation, and the rest. Scientific approach.
That make any sense to you? Not to me. Pelosi made almost no sense explaining why it took several months to pass a bill Republicans were offering in the early summer. The truth is the election has now passed. The Democrats, along with the media and big tech, all worked very hard together to ensure victory for Joe Biden. And simply put, Pelosi doesn't care about this anymore. She can now endorse whatever is in this bill. But what exactly is in the bill, aside from what I just mentioned? Well, how about $700 million in economic support for Sudan? Because, of course, Sudan should be in an emergency COVID relief bill, right? $505 million to make Central American countries nicer. Now think about it. That $500 million could have been used for $10,000 payments to 50,000 different small business owners in this country who are losing everything right now. But nah. And $50 million to women's leadership programs in foreign countries. $50 million. There are hundreds of pages like this in this 5,000-page bill. If you read the whole thing, it would make you sick. But you're not going to. They're counting on that. And neither did the people voting this into law tonight. The U.S. propping up the rest of the world is alive as ever tonight.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.